Senator James Lankford, he's a member of the Senate Appropriations, Intelligence, and Homeland Security Committees. He's introduced legislation to defund Planned Parenthood while investigating it for illegal practices. Senator, good to have you with us. Let's get right to it. First, I think a lot of people would be shocked to know that federal money to the tune of more than $500 million is going to Planned Parenthood.
It is $500 million a year going to Planned Parenthood, and they say they separate that funding off and it doesn't go towards abortion, it goes towards everything else, and they like to talk about it goes towards women's health, but they actually don't provide health services there, they provide screenings. The real people that provide women's health in very poor areas, things like community health centers, and there are all kinds of other places we could actually direct that money towards, but Planned Parenthood is taking it, and we're seeing some of the results of what they do with that money.
And what can be done about it? I have not heard so many people so shocked about anything as the idea that people are selling. Planned Parenthood is talking about selling the organs, the tissue of fetuses that have been aborted.
Right. It is shocking the way that they even portray it and what they're doing in it. You hear in one of the videos a negotiation on price, trying to figure out how much we can get for it, so they don't ask for too much so it doesn't look like a lot. But they're literally taking a child and talking about crushing its head to try to preserve other organs and so they could sell that organs. And the hard part for me is not only hearing that, but to hear the callous discussion about crushing the head of children and providing organs where they don't think that's a human being in the womb, but they're selling the organs as human organs. So at some point they became human. I would say that was a human when it was in the womb. And even to hear conversation about this is for medical research to be able to protect other children, my first question is, what about the child that they crushed in the womb and harvested its organs and sold those organs? Let's start again with that child. There's an easy way to protect that child, and it's not to kill them in the womb like that.
We as a nation have become so desensitized, and I'm not talking about the issue of pro-life, pro-choice, which are, frankly, to me, extraordinary labels for the issue. We're talking about it being either pro-abortion or anti-abortion.
Right.
But for 60 million people, estimates as high as 60 million fetuses have been aborted in this country since Roe v. Wade. We're talking about a federal law that prohibits the sale of human organs. And we have video evidence of precisely that happening within an organization that receives, I think in the minds of many people, inexplicably, over $500 million in federal funding. And Carly Fiorina, to me, asks the right question. What kind of nation have we become?
Yeah, the question that I asked the people last Thursday was, have we become so numb to this? I was in an appropriations hearing, and we spent almost an hour talking about humane treatment of orca whales at SeaWorld, and then shifted over to talking about humane horse slaughter techniques, and that we don't want to have horse slaughter in the United States. At the same time, we literally have children being killed in the womb where their head is crushed and their organs are harvested, and people seem to have no problem with that. That is an incredibly numb society to the reality of what's going on. For a child that is 5 months in the womb, we're not talking about this infant that's barely there at that point in pregnancy. We're talking about a child that's 5 months in the womb to be harvested is very, very sad and sick.
Does your leadership have the guts to go after this, to hold hearings, to actually do something? Because frankly, Senator, I think the American people are as disgusted with the ineptitude of the loyal opposition as they are with the administration that is carrying out these policies and ignoring these acts.
I don't hear anyone standing up right now and defending Planned Parenthood and what they've done. I'll hear some people say, well, they were taken out of context. The entire video is released. You can watch all hour of the video and get a chance to see the conversation. It's not out of context. It's what's happening. So what we need to do, I dropped a bill. In fact, I have a bill to defund Planned Parenthood entirely. It's no surprise to anyone that knows me to say, I don't think we need to send $500 million every year to that. If we're going to take care of women's health issues, let's take care of people that actually do women's health, not just refer to women's health organizations. So I'd like to defund entirely. At a minimum, I have a bill that I dropped today saying, let's defund them during this investigation. Let's not keep funding them during the process.
Let me be plain. Will Senator McConnell, will Speaker Boehner, will the majority of Republican presidential candidates for 2016 stand up on this issue and insist upon a public dialogue and debate?
I know Speaker Boehner has already stepped out publicly and called for those hearings. They're already organizing those hearings on the House. I don't know who's coordinating that in the Senate, but it looks like we will have votes this week on Planned Parenthood issues that will come to the floor in the Senate. So yes, this is moving, and the letters, in fact, I have two different letters, one going to the Department of Justice and one going to HHS as well, making sure they protect documents during that investigation, that they don't destroy all documents or send those documents to some server in Chappaqua, New York, and try to protect them.
And we're out of time, but I've got to ask you this because this is a developing and breaking story. The idea that this administration does not have, nor has it revealed to the Congress of the United States, what is in those side agreements, which people didn't know about until today, between the IAEA, a UN agency, and the Iranians on inspections.
Right.
What in the world is a loyal opposition doing here? What are you all going to do?
Well, we're in the process of exposing.
Were you aware of it, first of all? Were you aware?
You know what? I was not aware of it until yesterday. Yesterday was the first day that I was made aware of it. We started pushing on those documents to get it, and then we found out that the administration can't turn it over to us because they don't have it. So yes, we're pushing on the administration to say, well, how can there be some side agreement that you're not tracking as a part of this? And
are you all
how do
going
we
to
actually
stop
get
this?
that document?
Are you going to
Yes,
stop
sir.
this?
We are in the process of walking through that. I just had an hour-and-a-half meeting with John Kerry that I just left about 30 minutes ago, that we walked through great details on this and had a lot of questions about it. There's a tremendous amount of skepticism, and I'm going to tell you, I'm in the middle of that to say, how in the world could we have made an agreement that turns over billions of dollars to the Iranian government and says we're going to trust them, that they're going to do the right thing, and we're going to sit back and make sure that it actually occurs? I can tell you their behavior does not warrant trust.
Senator Lankford, always good to have you here. Thank you, sir.